Hey guys, it's Fred. I've got another video for you. This is a clip, just a small clip out of one of mine and Sheila's videos when we were headed to Adamsville, and we'd been talking about Pauline's autopsy and such. So just watch the clip and it should fill you in.
His name's Oakley Dean Baldwin, I believe it is. And I think he also says he has law enforcement experience, and I would like to know some of his arresting life, because I'm just going to tell you guys, from listening to him, he's not the most credible person I've ever listened to, and we're going to show you. If you've not seen the autopsy video by now that Sheila and I do.
No, it's one of the last ones that we do to go out.
Well, it'd probably be out before this, though.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
He says that the autopsy, he made a video, and he said the autopsy video showed Pauline had the crap beat out of her, or was beat up, beat
to death.
Beat to death, or something. We'll try to put his remark. We'll try to cut that out of his tape and put it right here so you can see word for word.
Turns out Pauline was beaten before she was shot in the head.
Now, guys, you've seen the autopsy report. Her dentures were back in her mouth. They took her dentures out, checked them, put them back in her mouth before she was reburied.
Right.
Nothing was wrong with her dentures. The teeth wasn't broken. The pathologist said they felt of the face. They felt for any kind of protrusions or bumps or lumps or breaks.
Yeah, and the neck was fine. There were no things on the neck.
Neck was fine, face was fine, extremities were all fine.
Yeah.
You know, Mike Elam says in one video, he said maybe they're going to find out there's a bunch of defensive wounds on Pauline. Well, to Mike Elam's comment there, they didn't. There was no proof, no accusations, no anything of defensive wounds or that she was beaten. The only thing they found, they say, was a fractured nose from the past that had healed. It could have been healed as many as since she's a child. It was just healed. They know that it wasn't recent. It wasn't a recent break. Go ahead, babe.
Right.
Guys, that's just a small clip trying to prove our point. Now, I've had some people commenting on different things, and first I will tell you this: if you're watching our videos to get more intelligent, it's probably not going to happen, guys. Neither Sheila nor I claim to be two of the smartest people around. I was a pretty decent investigator on the sheriff's department and city police, but I by no means am a genius, and that is what is scary about this case. Somebody put that into words. Somebody said, you're not that smart. And they are, I'd have to agree with them. They didn't say it in a real nice way, but it's okay. I got the point. And that's what made me think, you're exactly right. I am not that smart. Sheila and I are not that smart. So if Sheila and I can figure this out, then everybody else should be able to. Everybody else should be able to. Guys, this is not a peeing contest where we're saying we want to go up against Mike Elam or Oakley Baldwin. It's not. That's not what or Mr. Davison or the TBI. That's not our goal. It's not to see who can get the most hits, the most subscribers, it's not. In fact, we've lost subscribers and we've also lost views doing this series of videos. We get more views on other videos that we do. So it's definitely not for the views or the clicks. This is about the truth. This is about right and wrong, good and bad. That's all it's about. It's about the right of people to be innocent until proven guilty. Everybody is innocent till proven guilty. We have a right to go before our peers and have a trial before and explain ourselves and explain what happened. Explain if there's a story that's incorrect, we can explain that. Was the story incorrect in a police report, or was it incorrect in the newspapers? Because newspapers are not held accountable. Not like YouTube or anything else. People can say whatever they want. If this was anything except what it is, we would look over it. It wouldn't be that big a deal. But this is a dead man. This fella is dead. He's not here to stand up for himself. His last living child is now deceased. It doesn't look like nobody else is going to come to the rescue as far as really trying to prove what these guys are saying is wrong. Or if we have, we haven't seen them. If there's somebody else out there coming to the rescue, thank you. Join up, holler at us. You know, the perfect scenario here would be, and I've said it in our first video, to let Mr. Davis go ahead and indict his bologna sandwich, because you can indict a bologna sandwich. I'll read you the law. I'll do a video here in a minute and just show you what little bit of the law that I do know. Let Mr. Davis go ahead and get his indictment. Go ahead, just like he's alive today. Now, it's going to be an unfair trial because Buford is not here to defend himself. So it's totally uneven. But I have a feeling with no more than what Mr. Davison and TBI has got. They had the same evidence back in 1967, 58 years ago. If they had the same evidence then and TBI didn't see the need to charge or prosecute, stand trial, what happened 58 years later? What evidence came up 58 years later? Because we know the gun is not a match. We know that even if it is a match, it says inconsistency. So he didn't say, in his statement, Mr. Davison said he had inconsistencies in the gun. That means it's not a match. That's a roundabout way of just coming out and saying the gun wasn't a match, see? And that's why I know that people are saying and writing and doing things that they're trying to prove a narrative. Or the person would just come out and say the gun was not a match. Well, the gun was not a match, but even if the gun was a solid match and there was a .30 caliber round in there from that exact gun, where is the bill of sale? Where is the sales slip that Buford Pusser owned that gun? Now you've got another. You don't only have, was the gun the one that shot? Now you've got to prove that Buford had access to that gun. There's so many roundabout ways. And Mr. Davis, I don't know if he thought that with him saying it and with the TBI backing it up, that they just thought that everybody would jump on the bandwagon and say, oh, okay, well, it makes it true. He said it. Guys, since when does a prosecutor, of all people, a prosecutor come out without having a trial, in opening statements? So of course, you can say what you want in opening, closing statements. But just to come out with a man in the grave and he's dead, and you make a remark that says this man murdered his wife with the same evidence that wasn't investigated 58 years ago, I'm just flabbergasted. I'm sorry if I sound... I'm going to continue to do these small videos. I'm going to continue to cover some of these discrepancies. It's not that we can't be proven wrong. Sheila and I can be proven wrong. We do not have a dog in this fight. Now, Mr. Elam wants you to think, oh, they fell into that believing the legend. No, we don't believe legends. That's what we fought on the Hatfield-McCoy feud so much. They made devil ants. They made a villain into a hero. Here, they're making a man. I don't know if he was a hero or not, but I know he was a human being. I know that in one video, Mr. Oakley says that he was arrested by the FBI. We cannot find an arrest record by the FBI where they arrested Buford Pusser. I'm sorry. Maybe, of course the guy's correct when he said we're not the smartest, or I'm not. He's right, because I can't find it. Now, can't I find it because it don't exist, or can't I find it because I'm stupid? It could be either one. But I'm going to go with the assumption that it doesn't exist. I don't believe Buford Pusser was ever arrested, especially by the FBI. And if he wasn't, then that's a complete fabricated statement by Mr. Baldwin. If it's not fabricated, then please produce some documentation to back that up, and I will apologize and make a correction to the video. This is not about we win or they win, or it's not. This is about Buford Pusser's memory, a dead man's memory. I don't care if it's Buford Pusser or John Doe. We don't care. If somebody's done wrong and they're not here to take up for themselves, Sheila and I will take up for them if we think we can and think there's something to it. The easy thing here to do would just be to show me and Sheila some evidence, hard evidence that this happened, and we'll go away. We'll be done with this. We've done all we could do. It was proven that what they're saying happened, and we'll just go away. It's fine. We're not fans or foes of Buford Pussers. So when people says that and wants people to think they're just taking up for Buford, we're not. The thing is, whether he was arrested or not, or whether he did this or not, what does that have to do with him murdering his wife? That's sidetracking people. They're wanting to sidetrack you. They're wanting to, whether he had the wrong time, that it was 4:15, 4:30, or 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't really care what time they had a shootout or an ambush. It doesn't matter what time. That's just to throw people off. They say, oh, there was a discrepancy in the times. There's a discrepancy in the hood, blood on the hood. Guys, we want to see the proof that this man killed his wife, murdered his wife. The same lady that when he was killed, he went to be buried beside of. I was watching another video, and they're talking about how Buford held a press conference. I heard Mike Elam say, why would anybody want to kill Buford Pusser in 1974? Nothing was going on. Really? Well, he had just held a press conference the day before telling people that he was going to be starring in a movie, Walking Tall 2. He had just gone that day and signed a $2 million contract. Yeah, guys, that's something going on. When you hold a press conference and you say, I'm going to be making a movie about my life. I'll be starring in it myself now. I did good on the screen test. I heard him say that. And when you have somebody out there that he's arrested, that he's put in prison, that he may have had to kill, that he may have shut people's businesses down, or he may have even beat somebody in a political field, somebody's ancestors. And that's got something to do with this. We just don't know. But for Mike Elam to say 1974 had nothing to do with it, of course it did. What if there's a hater out there? What if there was a hater out there on August the 20th, 1974? August the 19th that seen the news conference and Buford talking about taking a screen test and going to make a movie. And they say, what? That old thing, I'm going to just put him out. And they do. They cut his brake line. They mess his tie rod up. There's so many things. But they are so busy with hatred. The state trooper, it was just a thing of jealousy from what it looks like to us. Could we be wrong? Of course we could be. But it's sure, we're not using somebody else. We're not saying this person said that or this, but now he's dead, you can't go talk to him. But we're telling you our opinion from what we've looked. We looked at the car. We examined the car while we were there. I can't even change the oil. I can change the oil, but I'm not a mechanic. But I've heard people on video say, back in that day, that car was tampered with. Now, you know, they say 58 years later they want to give Pauline justice, and they demean her and just defame Buford Pusser. What about Buford Pusser? Can you imagine if he's actually been accused wrongly? Can you imagine how wrong that would be? Imagine this, Elam. Mike Elam says he wants to give Pauline justice. He says it over and over and over again. I don't know this guy. I don't have nothing against this guy. I don't want nothing to do with this guy because in a 40-year career of law enforcement, I have become pretty good at detecting bull crappers and con men and people that don't tell the truth. I'm sorry, I have become pretty efficient at that. So I don't want to talk to Mike Elam because I don't think he tells the truth. That's my opinion, him or the other guy, Baldwin. Mike Elam says it's justice for Pauline, but yet he makes a podcast and writes it on his Facebook page. And he says, did Pauline work as an exotic dancer? I don't know, guys. Was Pauline a stripper or not? Nobody's ever said that. It's never come up except by one person that I can find, and that's Mike Elam. Now, Mike Elam wants to give justice to Pauline, but to a woman, especially a decent woman. I'm not going to get into people that's done that. I'm not going to get into right or wrongs, or that's between them and God. But I am going to say this, people that's not done it or wouldn't do it would take so much offense to being accused or that even been mentioning to somebody. A woman like Pauline, that we feel is not true because there's never been any proof, see. They've got so used to making assumptions and speculating and saying they heard it from a rumor and they heard it from there and here. They've got so used to it they say anything they want. But I feel that Pauline would get madder, a decent woman, over being called a stripper, an exotic dancer, than they probably would somebody murdering them. That's just the way women are vain. Women are vain. They don't like stuff, especially with their reputation. It's sad. It's sad all the way around. I feel sorry for Buford, feel sorry for Pauline, feel sorry for their children, Dewana. I feel sorry for people there in Adamsville. You're going to see videos coming up on Hatfield McCoy Museum Adventures on Sheila's page. Videos coming up where we stop by a parade and just talk to a lady sitting there, two ladies, and ask them what they think about the Buford Pusser thing. And they said, well, we don't, not much anymore. We used to. That was our hero, or whatever they said. It's in the video, but we don't no more, not since that come out. And I said, ladies, don't pay attention to everything you hear. Wait and make sure there's proof to that. Talk's cheap. I know that Mike Elam and Oakley Baldwin are selling books. They're promoting their books left and right. Guys, it's more than about books sometimes. We've got books. Sheila and I's got books. We wrote over 16 books over the years on different things. And it can't just be about selling books. It's got to be about the truth, or at least the truth to the best as you know it. I'm not going to drag this out. This video was supposed to be 2 minutes long, and it's in the 18 minutes. Thanks for watching if you did, and pray for everybody involved. Let's get back to the basics of life. You know, this is a human being's life. If he has been misjudged and misrepresented, how sad. It would be as bad as him killing Pauline, because we have killed him. We have murdered his reputation. And imagine, I just say that Sheila and I do, if it's not 100%, if you're not 100% sure of something like this, why bring it up? Why do it if there's not an alternative motive? We feel there's an alternative motive here on several people's part. We'll get to see as life goes on. We'll see as life continues, if in the political arena, in the book markets, the movie markets, the bus markets, the tour guide market. We'll get to see. Thanks, guys.